Tim Hortons. Chris.
Morning.
So what's the local intel telling us?
Sandpit's open again.
How long's it been?
Months. It's been open for months and we haven't been, it's been...
a year and a half?
A year and a half, yeah.
2 years we haven't been there?
A year and a half for sure.
So in anticipation of this, your bike is ready?
It is ready. I have a bald tire and a MT21 that's not particularly good in the sand.
That dude, for you, this is primo.
No, there's still a year's worth of tread on the back of that tire.
I can still see the knobs, and the front is primo.
The front is awesome. Although I don't think this is going to handle very well in the sand.
I don't like the MT21.
I like it on the highway. You can go really fast with that and it doesn't vibrate.
But I find it just squirmy.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the bike is in primo shape. I even put a little oil in yesterday because it was a little low.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no,
I thought of checking mine this morning.
I thought of checking my tires this morning and I didn't. And then that's
good? 22?
Yeah, 22. It's about there.
All right, let's hit it.
All right.
Now, the sand pit will always have a special place, I think, in the hearts of the awesome players, because this was really the spot where it all began. I mean, in my case, I'd been riding for over 20 years before I started really going off-road, and this little sand pit just outside of Hawkesbury was really where we started to get our feet wet. But before we headed in there, Chris had indicated that the tiny tank on the HP2 needed to be topped up, so we decided to pop into the gas station and fill up, and this was pretty convenient because the access to the trail is just behind the gas station. Notice the car with the trailer on it in the distance. Well, while he was filling up, Chris was approached by a guy who recognized us from YouTube.
You guys are the guys who do those videos, right? I've always wanted to meet you guys. So he's going in with his son. He's got a BMW F800 and his son's got a little whatever.
When they're going in here?
Honda CR. So they're heading into the sand pit.
Oh, cool. I think I have some stickers on my bag.
Yeah.
Let's hit it.
Cool, we'll see him in there. You paid up?
Yep.
Well, it turns out they were also going to go play in the sand pit for some father-son time. So with our bellies full of Tim Ho and our tanks full of high test, off we went. This trail had been closed for about a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years, and we had come in at one point to take a peek, and it was all posted with no trespassing signs, and someone had actually gone through the trouble of falling a whole bunch of trees across all of the access trails. So we knew at that point they were pretty serious about not wanting people in here.
Whoa, ABS off.
Every now and then you forget to turn the ABS off and you get a quick reminder on the old F800. Now, we had learned through talking to some of the locals that the reason this sand pit had been closed off was that some guys had gone in there in Jeeps or something and just tore the place up and made a huge mess, and I think left a bunch of garbage and stuff. So that's always kind of a piss off when, you know, a bunch of bozos go into some place that people have been using for years and destroy it for everyone.
A few little trees down. There's going to be a lot of shit down from that wind.
Yep.
Frig, man, it feels so long since we've been here. Oh, I love it. Let's hit it. Whoa!
I don't know what was going on today, but it was one of those days where I just felt a little bit rusty. Usually I feel that way at the beginning of the season, but I don't know. This day I kind of had to make a mental note to myself to take it easy because I didn't really feel like I was 100% on my game. I gotta say though, heading back to the old sand pit, it felt really good. I mean, this was really where the transformation happened. We'd all come from street bike riding backgrounds where the worst thing you could possibly do was drop your bike. And it was at this sand pit where we first started trying to climb some of these sandy hills, where we realized that, you know what, if you drop one of these BMWs, nothing horrific is going to happen if it's just a low speed drop. If you got crash bars and handguards, you're pretty much just going to pick it up and walk away. Now, a better man than I would have wheelied his 500-pound dual sport over that log, but I wasn't really feeling up to it. Plus, it had the look of one of those ones that was just going to roll as soon as I hit it. So I decided to go and get a little lower back exercise here and clear the trail.
It was like a big mushroom.
Now back to what I was saying about the sand pit. Something really interesting happened at this sand pit with us. I mean, we really got to throw off the shackles of that street bike rider mentality where, you know, dropping your bike was the worst possible fate. And once we came here, and with, you know, these heavy bikes and incredibly low skill levels, we were falling and falling and falling. I mean, there are a lot of those early rides. We were trying to climb some of these hills and sandy spots and go over little bumps and wet spots. I mean, we were probably dumping the bike 15 or 20 times every Sunday morning. So it didn't take us long to get over our initial fears of dropping the bikes. And then after that, you're kind of free, because once you've given up on having this pristine, shiny machine that you're going to wax and armor all, and, you know, you have to kind of give up on that, because once you start doing this, anytime you do have for maintenance, you can't really waste it doing that kind of stuff. You're basically spending all of your time just trying to keep the thing going, because now you've gone from paste wax and tire shine to wheel bearings and cracked plastic and everything else it takes to keep a bike going that's actually being used off-road.
Not as wet in here as I would think it would be. And we're not going crazy through the puddles because I'm tired of having fucking wet feet.
This is always one of my favorite parts of this trail, where you've gone through the kind of shady, wet, wooded part, and then it pops you out into this field. And all of a sudden, you can stand up on the pegs and stretch the throttle cable a little bit. And you can see here, I'm taking it pretty mellow. It did seem like the trail was getting pretty good use from all the tire tracks, but it still felt a little more overgrown. It looked like Mother Nature was working pretty hard to reclaim this trail.
Wow. Home sweet home.
Time to do the first hill we ever did at the sandpit. When we first started out, I still remember how intimidating looking that hill was. One of the things we've learned from hanging out at this sandpit and a few others is that even if you've only been gone a week, it's not a bad idea to take a look around, because there's nothing worse than finding out that they've scooped away half that hill and there's a 6-foot drop off on the other side.
There's a lot of drop-offs here that were not here a while back, so we're gonna have to be careful. Uh-oh, Chris didn't make it.
Who should we see off on the horizon? with his HP2 bottomed out, standing there looking forlornly, none other than Chris.
Nice. Nice parking, Bill.
Might as well give him a hand.
I almost made it.
Guess you're going down?
Yeah, I just gonna roll back.
Are you in gear?
Yeah, but I pulled the clutch.
You're just stuck in a hole, Bill. Ready?
Well, let's take a look at take 2.
Nice. Vultures waiting for us. Man, this is soft. Ooh, this is going to be ugly. Whoa, that's soft.
As we kept riding around, I just couldn't help but notice how much everything had grown up. All the little shrubs were so much bigger. Areas where there was not really any trees were now full of little scrubby trees. This big mound here hadn't changed that much because they actually mow it. So I've seen it happen where someone comes in here maybe only once or something a season and actually mows this thing down. So you never seem to have any trees growing on this big mound. Part of the quarry is right next to some sort of municipal landfill or garbage dump, and we were heading by there. I'm not usually a big fan of riding near these kind of things just because it seems like a really good place to get a flat tire. Chris was a little more confident, so he decided to actually ride up on some of the area that had been backfilled in. One interesting thing here is if you look up when you're over this, there's always a lot of vultures here, which is kind of neat. And you can see there was a lot of washed out areas and little crevices there that would do a nice number on a front tire if you weren't careful. All this from the big rain we had a few days before. Up ahead I saw, which looked like a newer trail, so I decided to check it out. And it honestly looked like it dead-ended right here. But I have always have this kind of sick fascination with driving through tall weeds and grass like this. There's just something cool about it. And here you can see it's pretty tall.
Why am I going through here? I don't know.
The problem here now is this stuff was getting wrapped around my legs and my foot pegs. It was kind of pulling my feet back. I could see daylight on the other side, so I knew I didn't have too far to go.
Uh-oh. That's a swamp. Nope.
Then finally, with a little momentum, you kind of claw your way through. It's kind of neat because you can't really tell what's down there, so you don't know if there's a log, a rock, a huge hole. So it makes it a little bit interesting. Well, here we are at the old sand pit where it all began, and this thing was posted no trespassing about 2 years ago. so we haven't been back since. And it's amazing how much this place has changed.
I think we've also gotten more accustomed to dirt.
Yeah.
It doesn't look anywhere near as intimidating.
I think Chris is right. I think part of the other thing too is we're just not, when we first came here, this place looked so imposing that the hills seemed a lot steeper back then, and now I think we're just not all
I
that
don't think
afraid.
this hill got any smaller.
I think the main hill is actually steeper than it was.
That one that we used to do where Henrik used to plow the field is definitely gotten a bit bigger. But the bowl is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, the bowl only has one side now, and it's nowhere near as big as it was before.
No. And they've
And all our
excavated
little
away.
ponds are gone.
They excavated away the area. It looks like they were looking for clay, because that
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
clay
pure
there.
clay over there. And then down there was that whole big, sandy plateau, and they hauled the whole thing away. So, yeah. Anyways,
It's a shame.
still fun, just not as much fun. And considering the amount of rain we had, it's not that wet.
No, pretty good actually.
I was surprised on the ride in, it wasn't that wet.
Yeah.
So I don't think they got as much rain here. And not that many
Or it's
trees
just
blown
dried
down.
up. I mean, there was so much. It's been so hot that it's probably just dried up.
Just soaked up. Very steep. Chris on the HP2. Nice. We rode around for a little while longer and then decided to head off and check out a few other areas. And on the way out, Chris ran into our father-son duo. Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, thanks. I think I got you guys at a disadvantage. I've seen all you guys' videos. My name's Chris.
Hold on.
I take this off.
How are you?
Not too bad yourself?
Nice to meet you.
What's your name? Chris. Chris, yeah. Chris as well.
Riley, what's your name?
Logan.
Logan, how you doing?
Logan, I'm Chris.
Not bad.
Not too bad.
Zip tie stitches, it'll look good.
Look
Duct
rugged.
tape.
Real dirt bikes.
Yeah. Well, not really. I'm not really. But
It's a real dirt bike.
Compared, yeah. Is this street legal?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's
The
why I
little
want to
one's
hook up with you
street
guys.
This is street legal?
Yeah?
Completely, yeah.
Well, you're going down to the pit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll meet you down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your coordinates and
Yeah,
everything.
we'll zoom around and we'll meet you down there.
Sounds good.
We were just going to go play in the
That's
sand
what I
down here,
wanna
but
get next.
yeah.
That's what I got my
I
laptop.
want one of those.
Yeah, you can try it if you want, man.
All right, we'll meet you back there.
Yeah. If you want to take her for a beat and go for it.
Back to the sand pit. You mucky. I did not bypass this successfully. Back to the sand pit. Whoa, that's greasy. Greasy. Oops. Back to the sand pit. Here's the nice little branch that just broke Chris's fender. Nice. Nice. One of the really nice things about this whole YouTube experience about posting these videos has been that it's given us the opportunity to meet a lot of nice people. And a lot of the people that we ride with today are actually people that we've met through the web in one way or another. And it's also a little bit of an ego stroke when when you meet somebody and they walk up to you and they're like, "Hey Riley, hey Chris, where's Henrik?" So that's always kind of fun as well.
What year is this?
It's a 2007.
Because Chris is looking for something like this to buy for next summer.
So we started doing what motorcycle guys do when they meet. We started yakking about bikes and talking about the Paris-Dakar race in Ontario, as well as, you know, location of some local trails and stuff. And then Chris was nice enough to offer us a demo ride on his 525.
I'm gonna let them. It's a little slow. It's a little. I got it re-springed for me.
Did you lower it?
No, I got it re-springed so it actually was lowered a little bit. Yeah.
Chris, you always let people you just meet
Jeez.
on the trail ride your bike?
Yeah.
It's a service you offer?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it on? Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You might have to put if you get one, you might have to put you can get lower pins for them.
Oh, yeah, it's up.
Yeah. It's a little low, eh?
A little bit.
Like one of those guys at the circus. It looks a little small for him. Hey, he's still running.
After some advice from Chris, for Chris to redline it a little more, he went off for another try. Man, does that bike look small with Chris on it.
We're riding a little low, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Not used to that.
Just trying to. If you want to try it really like. Gotta go a little bit higher.
Give her! In gear.
And a third attempt at revving it. I think Chris is used to that lazy HP2 power curve.
There you go.
Still not really winding it out. And of course, we offered new guy Chris a chance to ride our bikes, but oddly enough, he was worried that he might drop them and scratch them. And even though we assured him that wasn't going to be a big issue, he still declined.
I'm going to put that right there.
Yeah, perfect.
We got new guy Chris stickered up.
Meeting up with you guys finally. Sweet!
And of course, we had to get Logan's bike and helmet all stickered up.
I want to. Okay, hold on. Let me see both. Okay, good. All right, thanks.
Then it was my turn to mount up on the KTM 525 and take it for a little spin. And I gotta say, yeah, you could really feel that weight difference between the 800. But as usual, when I get on these bikes, the first thing I feel is kind of cramped. Like the bike front to rear is kind of short. And I don't think the handlebars in that were set up for my height.
Adjust my mirrors.
And off I went.
Yeah,
He's riding a little bit higher than you were the first time, but
I think I was suffering from the same issues as Chris was, in that you're just not used to having to give it that much gas. And also, I think the feedback from the bike, the level of vibration is higher, so it kind of tricks you into thinking that you're revving higher when, you know, when the 800 vibrates as much as this, you know, I would be really running at a high RPM. It was super nice for Chris to let us take his KTM for a spin. And we agreed to stay in contact and maybe go for another ride together.
Oh yeah, make sure your ABS is off or you'll get scared.
How do you do that?
Then, just for giggles, Chris and I decided to change bikes. Chris doesn't have ABS, so I had to switch it off for him.
Ah! Tippy toes!
Yeah.
But not crazy bad.
And once you put your weight on it, you can flat foot.
And even the 800 looks pretty small with Chris on it.
Oh, this is it.
I don't ride Chris's HP2 very often, but I gotta say, every time I do, I love it. There's just something special about that bike. Kind of kicked myself because I had a chance when I was shopping for the 800 to buy one for almost the same price, and I didn't. One thing's for sure, those HP2s are holding their value these days.
I like this, and I go through this every once in a while. I mean, it has some other... It's much more mechanical, which means it's not as nice. I've ridden this on the highway. It's not as nice as this on the highway.
Okay, but because you don't have a windshield either. No.
You don't have a windshield, but just there's no counterbalancer. It's just a much more mechanical... Well, this thing just...
Yeah, it's not the same feel.
Okay.
But it's also...
Of course, it wouldn't be an Awesome Players outing if I didn't show our new riding buddy Chris how we actually ride in the Awesome Players. So I chose a bad line here up against the edge of this greasy hole. Lost the front end and ended up in the woods.
Woo! Yeah, that was a nice low speed one.
I saw you kind of jump while the tail.
Whew. That was a good body armor moment.
Yeah, eh? Your knee okay?
Yeah, no, it was
Because you did go sort of flying a little bit.
yeah, I kind of did a step off.
Step off / lunge.
I saw a non-tree spot. I decided I'd rather go there.
Taking it!
I'm taking a left.
That looks oddly like the spot where Joe may have...
I think Joe's spot is right here where this rock is.
Well, that's it. I'm thinking...
No, he was here.
Oh, yeah.
This was the tree.
Yeah.
This is Joe's tree.
Of course, we had to reminisce a bit about the time Joe debeaked his 1150 right here.
You know what? It felt good right up until I crashed.
Well, I was watching you and I thought, oh, you were booting it through some of the squirrely parts a bit. Oh.
Well, you know what it is? I made the mistake. I tried to stay out of the groove.
Yeah.
And the bike slid into the groove,
And, yeah.
and then I was done. I should have just driven in the groove.
How you doing?
You guys okay?
Yeah, I just, I got a little optimistic on my speed.
There you go. Hey, Logan, watch out, there's trees down.
Whew, thank you, sir.
Got it?
Oh.
We decided we should probably pay Henrik a visit, since he doesn't live too far away, and he had recently repainted his Valkyrie. He'd actually spent most of the summer repainting his Valkyrie, and if you you go back through some of our older videos, there's a little video there about how he managed to crash it at a pretty substantial rate of speed, and he took it upon himself to buy all the equipment and repair it and paint it himself.
Here we are at Fort Saint Eugène,
We're here to inspect the Valkyrie in its new primal colors.
repainted.
Primal black.
Here we
matte
see
black.
the
Looks nice from this
the
vantage
backup
point.
parking lot of spare bikes. But Henrik's main ride,
Hey, the tank looks nice.
the Valkyrie, he has been busy repainting since his off-road adventure.
Hey, it looks great. I like the tank.
How many times have you painted it?
How many weekends?
No,
did it take
it's
to
not how
perfection?
many times I painted it, but every time I painted it, I could put on one coat,
Right.
and not on all of the parts. So
Right.
it went slowly. I sanded it. This fairing was a little bit cracked, so I fixed that.
Yeah.
And
I like the matte look, actually, you know.
I think it looks good. I think it looks good. But if you look at it closely, you see that it's imperfect because
Yeah,
there's still low spots. But I just decided it's gonna stay that way.
So what's the next step here?
Nothing. Right.
So it's done?
The thing is, that's the old one.
Autofocus.
You bought a new one.
Yeah, because this had the,
It had a crack? Oh,
The
right.
front?
Oh, yeah, and that fixing that's a pain.
and I didn't feel like
Yeah.
doing that. Anyway, I think it looks kind of, you know,
This is one hell of a story, but it would be so much better with.
it looks kind of ratty,
I like it.
I like it.
really
but
like
it has that desert runner look.
No,
now.
It has that certain
You
je ne
need
veux
to-
pas.
Je ne veux pas.
I think you need to embrace this because this
Yeah.
looks good.
Yep.
I really do think it
No,
looks
I
good.
think it looks good.
I would tell you
looks
if
good.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
And the
It
second
looks way
time-
better than that.
Oh, yeah. That made the bike look...
Then it was time to head home. Here you see Henrik's Mazda B3000 pickup. All the gas mileage of a V8 with all the power of a 4-cylinder.
Not even a single turf was disturbed.
We both had things to get done on this particular day, so we couldn't stay out playing too long. It was a really nice day, and once again, if you've got that GS, that Triumph Tiger, that V-Strom, you know, some sort of big adventure-y kind of bike, don't be afraid, get it out there. Get down a gravel road, a dirt road, find some guys in your area to go riding. There's lots of ways to connect on the net with Adventure Rider and all the local groups and clubs. And then once you've dropped it a few times and got those first few scratches out of the way, then you can really start to enjoy that bike. And it makes the whole bike owning experience that much easier. You've got it in the garage and a rake falls over and bangs up against the windshield and leaves a scuff mark. When you're wrenching on the bike, you don't have to worry about if that ratchet slips off and leaves a little scratch on the fairing. So get out there, get a little patina on that bike, and relax and enjoy it. Not a big adventure today, but kind of typical of a lot of our low-key rides where we're only going to be gone for a few hours. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to keep up to date on other videos and be notified right away when they come out, please hit the subscribe button. If you have a comment or a question, don't be shy. You can also check out our Facebook page. It's down below in the description, and it'll also come up after the video ends. Thanks for watching.